Greetings everyone, it is I am the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I am of course back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Sonic Colors Ultimate for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One / Xbox Series X or Series S depending on what platforms you play on, PC and Nintendo Switch, and the honorable mention PlayStation 5 due to backwards compatibility. So, last time we have basically managed to complete everything in Gameland, and we managed to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds in hand, so yeah, we can now able to experience Supersonic, right? Well, we'll save the Supersonic part until whenever we get to the final video of this Let's Play at some point on this Thursday. So because today, for this episode in particular, and that is the fact that we're going to be tackling through the Rival Rush races, which means that we must race against with Metal Sonic after all, ever since back in 1993, from the likes of Sonic CD, and it continues that tradition until specifically Sonic Rivals 1, and I believe Sonic Rivals 2 as well, and also say applies to Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2, and of course the actual boss fight from the likes of Sonic Generations, from the likes of the HD version of the game, along with the 3DS counterparts as well. So either way though, to be expected for the most part. So, yeah, with the Rival Rush race, as far as I'm concerned, basically you're able to have a one-on-one race competition with Metal Sonic himself. And as a result, though, it does have a different music to the table, which I guess is like an alright choice for able to actually just have that feature. But I will have to admit, though, it gets a bit repetitive if you keep on failing most of your time for the sake of the forms of the Rival Rush and stuff like that. So because of that though, all you have to really do on these particular parts right there is to simply you have to win a race, and that's all you really have to do. And basically you have to take alternate shortcuts and also alternative paths you can able to take, and don't get distracted by the forms of some collectibles like these park tokens as you can see, and also some of these red star rings that wow. No need to worry about collecting these anymore, just because, well, it's pretty obvious about the fact that we've basically not only collected them all, but also we got every Chaos Emerald throughout the game. So because of that though, yeah, no need to worry about the actual repetition of it all. So either way though, something's worth mentioning as you can see on screen, that for some reason my player icon never moves at all whenever you continue your progressioning for the sake of this stage. I'm guessing it's mainly because I just have no idea why they have not tested it out yet, or especially noticeable, it just happens, and unlike the other zones we can able to run into, like the other 5 levels throughout the game, that's basically it works just fine. But in one level exception, mind you, sorry for a little bit of a tongue twist in the end folks, but basically that the actual icon does not even get any progressioning onto that particular start to the finish gauge kind of lengthy kind of filter it. So, and then if you manage to win any race, then basically you get such rewards. Let's just say, for example, I've actually got more park tokens as you can see on screen, and eventually you're also able to get some of these items based off from Metal Sonic, as you can clearly tell. Although, we're not going to talk more about it until any moments later, because here we go on to Sweet Mountain, and as you can tell, that's eventually at this point that the actual Metal Sonic races can get a little bit tricky and difficult, especially sometimes the rubber banding can able to actually just to, I don't know, catch up with you every now and then. But the important thing is though is the fact that you have to be super fast and also save your boost wisely, because if you boost too much, then you're gonna lose the race instantly. So I feel like that some people have trouble with this particular stage, but honestly, it actually took me about 2 attempts, although not 1 attempt, mind you, for the sake of whenever I play this on my own time on the likes of the Switch version, because I know every single level's, you know, from point A to point B, and I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. Although most of your time, for those of you who have a first time experiencing these kinds of moments like this, basically you're gonna have to able to do a lot of memorization there, especially if you really want to win those specific like certain rewards or items and you name the rest. And unfortunately though, I think Metal Sonic just managed to caught up to me. Although You can use your wisps if you wanted to for a certain amount of like alternative paths you can take, but most of the time I just simply able to ignore them for the time being. So even then though, if that serves to be the case, then you might as well able to actually get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to likely trying to do all sorts of things. So like this point right there, you have to able to get an exact perfect timing jump right there, because if you do it normally, you'll slow down a bit, and then as a result, you will lose the race instantly. But thankfully, I did manage to did this for about one attempt, surprisingly, because obviously I did manage to play these kinds of races on my own time on the Switch version, along with the Xbox One version, so I basically know what I'm doing. So yeah, you get the idea about that. Unfortunately though, there's only 6 of those Metal Sonic race encounters because, well, I was expecting they were able to have something new or somewhat more than that, but apparently though it's only been for, well, certain acts in particular. Well, let's just say for example, on, you know, Tropical Resorts that we've already done, the Rifle Rush races obviously takes place in, Act 3. And I believe also during the forms of in, let's just say in Sweet Mountain, I think it does manage to take place, I think I would say in Act 3, if I can recall that correctly. And Starlight Carnival Act 1, as you can see on screen. And I believe in Planet Wisp, it was actually in Act 1. And I believe in Aquarium Park, it was always going to be in Act 2. And finally, Asteroid Coaster, also in Act 2. So, unfortunately, no Act 4s of anything else to be more specific, or Act 5s, or Act 6, if you will, for the sake of the forms of the rival matches and stuff like that, or the rival races, I should say, because I was expecting they were able to have something more than that, especially noticeable how some people might find this a bit disappointed for the sake of the forms of this inclusion. Well, I understand because of how the fact that they didn't seem to able to have more stages in particular, because obviously we're expecting more than that. So, but yeah, you get the idea how this goes basically. So either way though, and every time, the only thing is kind of irritates people, especially noticeable myself included, that the notification pop-up just instantly pops up rather than just having ourselves the actual pop-up animation, because as a result, clearly because this was worked at home, so because of that though, they can't be bothered able to actually make unique animations for the UI pop-ups and stuff like that. Like, well, let's just say, for example, on the likes of Sonic Generations, for instance, they have themselves a very cool pop-up animation and stuff like that. It's all likely splashed animation or something like that. But for some reason, in this particular Sonic Colors Ultimate, it just instantly pops up straight to your face. You know, kind of similar to most internet pop-ups, and especially noticeable with any other app pop-ups here and there. I mean, it's just feels a bit inconsistent sometimes, but that's mainly because this game was actually obviously worked at home, rather than beneath forms of the actual Sega building company, because of, you know what I mean, the C word that we've already on about ever since about almost 2 years ago. So because of that though, let's not mention about that ever again, just because we're still on the new year, which is of course 2022, and it's also worth noting for us the fact that today's day is of course the first ever day of February. So because of that though, something worth classifying for mentioning about this is the fact that the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics is slowly approaching. So because of that though, I am pretty hyped about that, especially noticeable about the fact that I can't wait to see some of these winter sports again. Although, the only problem with this is the fact that I don't think we can able to get a new Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games anytime soon, just because of poor sales for the sake of Tokyo 2020 Olympics installment or something, which I've no clue of able to actually mention about that, just because, well, then again, it has been quite a long time since I actually did manage to play Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series, kind of think about it. So, and also if you notice that I've recently managed to change my, once again, my gloves and shoes gears, that now I've actually got myself yellow colors of the, well, gloves and shoes, and also my boost effect, along with the Oreo effect, is actually in light. So it's like, well, the door to light or something like that, or in this case, well, boost effect, or should I say for the actual catchphrase from the likes of Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts is light. So, yeah, at least as far as I can recognize that from Kingdom Hearts 1. So, because of that. Speaking of that, though, is the fact that until next month in Japan, that the Kingdom Hearts game, specifically the first game in the series on the PlayStation 2, it will be 2 decades old until next month. Especially noticeable, I can't wait to see some of these Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary events coming up next month. So, yeah, I'm very hyped and also highly expected to able to actually see what brings us into the table. So, in fact, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Are you guys with me looking forward to able to watching Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics? Because it's now going to take place in China, very similar to the forms of Beijing 2008, but usually in Beijing 2008, it's all Summer Olympics, whilst in the forms of this year, at this point, it's going to take place in winter. So, because obviously the actual temperature at the moment in our country is still a bit cold at the moment, so I need to run myself warm, and I can't wait to able to get my cup of tea, to able to actually just to watch some amazing events has to offer, like, you know, skiing, snowboarding, and you name the rest. So anyways, as you can see, we ended up now on the halfway point in terms of the forms of the Rival Rush races, as you can see. And, oh, dang it, I messed it all up. But I can at least manage to restart that. So, I think of all the actual levels of the forms of the Rival Rush levels, when it comes to racing against with Metal Sonic, I'm pretty sure that Planet Wisp is the only one it gives me a bit of a tricky time. I have no idea what this is. I think it's mainly because of how the fact that maybe I wasn't paying attention to the actual level design memorization correctly. Or maybe it's because I was a bit too hasty at some point, and also on top of that, yeah, as you can see, that sometimes I was a bit hasty and some stuff like that, and as a result though, it does manage to able to take me a lot of tries. Even though, whenever I managed to play on the Xbox One version of this particular race, I, for the life of me, cannot ever be able to actually get this on the perfect run. Although, mind you, I'm pretty sure it actually took me a couple of tries as well, on the Switch version, I should say. Luckily, though, I don't come across into any game-breaking glitches or anything, so that, at least that's a good thing. So, but anyways, just keep on mashing the X button all over and over and over again, just in case we can able to pull off some alternative paths to able to make the paths a bit faster and stuff like that. So hopefully, we won't be able to have that much any troubles with it whatsoever, apart from that one particular time I somehow messed it up. So, anywho, I guess there's not much else I can say about the forms of this conversation at this point, guys. I mean, apart from the fact that, well, we are getting towards the end, though, although I would like to mention about the fact that I was expecting to able to show you guys the S-rank run-throughs on certain levels, but unfortunately, though, I don't think I've got enough time for it, especially noticeable that, although usually Mexi is still working on, you know, Super Mario 3D All-Stars still, and especially noticeable about the fact that I'm pretty dang certain. Okay, so I did manage to win this race after all, so best advice for you, take that alternative pathway like I just did right there, and that way you'll win the race easily, so just do it. Alright, so I believe we've only got 2 races to go until we're basically done with the rival races, basically, or the rival rush mode and stuff like that, so. And as you can tell, we're still collecting some more park tokens, as you can see. I think it normally contains like 50 of them, so this might be a good opportunity for you to able to get more customization options here and there, although despite it's all cosmetic and everything, so. And also worth noting for is the fact that, and during at some point on this weekend, is the fact that Ray the Flying Squirrel is pretty much almost going to finishing up in terms of the rest of the party crews for the sake of Mario Party 7. And by that means is the fact that he'll pretty much going to be moving on to the final board in Mario Party 7. That is of course Bowser's Enchanted Inferno. So yeah, between those games combined, even though despite the fact that Super Mario 3D All-Stars is still going to be the longest playthrough yet, just because of replaying through 3 games all over again, except with a much more clear imagery, and also that on 1080p and stuff like that. But relatively speaking, that's we actually almost getting close to this, and I somehow managed to able to beat the stage very, very fast. Especially that it probably almost took me about under 20 seconds, which as a result though, yeah, that is by far the shortest level I've ever done. Especially noticeable, I have to able to beat Metal Sonic no matter what, so. And there's another one of those rewards here, such as, for instance, I would say a Dark Aura. And also, we might come across into the Dark Boost if we manage to able to beat all of the Metal Sonic races, basically. So, however, the only disappointing thing for me, though, is that we were expecting that we would be able to unlock Metal Sonic as a secondary playable character into this particular remastered port. Just like the forms of how it does it in Sonic Adventure DX for the likes of the GameCube and all the other platforms, except the Dreamcast version. Sadly though, that's not true, because the only thing you can only get is just more park tokens and also some cosmetic, items here and there, such as, for instance, a Metal Sonic icon for your profile, and of course the Dark Aura, and also the Dark Boost effects, and that's pretty much about it. So, yeah, it's a bit disappointing and lackluster rewards-wise, but I wish I was expecting to have something a bit more that you can able to finally play as Metal Sonic in the actual, Sonic platforming game ever since in, the Sonic Adventure days, ever since in, Sonic Adventure 1, or specifically Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut, as well as the forms of Sonic Adventure 2 for the multiplayer matches and stuff like that, specifically in the 2-player mode. So, it's just a shame that we didn't seem to able to actually play as Metal Sonic as often anymore, which is, I don't know about you, but either way though, I'm just a bit too nitpicking outside of things, so. Oh, and by the way, if you manage to able to die in a level, or essentially if you fell off the level, basically the game cuts to the point where basically Metal Sonic wins instead, and basically you have to able to either quit or just try again if you really want to get those rewards. But aside from that, the only thing it's there, just for the sake of the forms of the 100% completion on certain worlds, because obviously if you couldn't tell, I basically already 100% everything for the sake of Tropical Resort, and that's only because not only do I need to get all of the red star rings per act, but also we need to get all the S ranks on that particular zone, and on top of that, you're now able to actually beat Metal Sonic on the likes of the Rifle Rush mode, and because of that though, that's a lot of stuff you have to do, which it might add a bit of replayability, but at the same time, it feels kind of disappointing as a reward, because obviously I was expecting to have something more, as I said, mainly due to the fact that there's a lack of the second playable character, which it would be able to be a really good package, all things considered, but I just think that this game is actually pretty alright in the end, which well, I would expect you able to actually prefer the Wii version a lot more, just because of my nostalgia reasons or something, but because of such though, I'll get to my final thoughts of this remastered port by the end of this playthrough, so mainly due to the fact that until this first day in particular, because as you can tell, we've basically now win every single of those Metal Sonic races, and we managed to get an S rank, surprisingly enough, by the end of that particular video, so okay, kudos to you game, kudos to you. So yeah, that's essentially what you can get for this point. And also you get those occasional tail-safe icons if you want to able to go after more of those things. But honestly, what's the point of able to actually having more tail-safe icons to begin with? Because we're nearly at the end of the game. Although I understand because of the forms if you really want to go after every single S ranks if you can. But I have no idea what's the point of able to actually still increase the amount of those things. So anyway, so that being said though, I think we'll pretty much guarantee, before we end off the video right here, let me quickly change my icons quickly for the sake of well, if I was able to try to see something for the sake of points, and also I've managed able to access to the Dark Aura along with the Dark Boost. I think for the finale episode, I think we should probably stick to the point with, well, let's just say purchase the Chrome Purple Gloves, and also we might as well also purchase the Chrome Purple Boots, so that we can become dark and evil. Like evil spirit and stuff like that. So okay, so suffice to say, actually I'll get to more now in a moment, because, well, I should point things out, yes, I will still save Supersonic until for the finale video, so, yeah, we'll end things off here, so join me next time for more of Let's Play of Sonic Colors Ultimate. It's gonna be the finale of this Let's Play, and because of that, we're gonna be taking on the final level, which is Terminal Velocity. So, again, only 3 levels, so, yeah, there's not much else to the point, so I'll see you guys on Thursday. Later, fellas.